everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As I reflect on the upcoming week of August 24th, I cannot help but feel a massive wave of anticipation. Whenever I am chatting with fellow General Hospital viewers and fans of The Bold and the Beautiful, we always agree that there is nothing like a brand new character to shake up the established dynamics. The spoilers for this week are packed with shocking arrivals, messy infidelities, and fierce maternal showdowns that make daytime television so compelling. I am genuinely feeling a mix of profound excitement and deep anxiety about what is about to happen to our favorite families. How much more heartbreak can these characters possibly endure before they completely shatter? Let us start by talking about the huge casting news that has me completely buzzing. Kelly Sullivan is officially joining the canvas as Darcy Dillon, making her highly anticipated first appearance on August 27th. I have always appreciated her incredible acting chops, and bringing her in as the mother of the manipulative Melissa Dillon is a stroke of pure genius. I strongly believe that Darcy's arrival is going to provide so much necessary context for why her daughter behaves the way she does. I am incredibly curious to see what kind of mother Darcy is. Will she be a voice of reason, or will she be even more cunning than her daughter? Before Darcy even sets foot in town, we have to endure watching Dillon continue her relentless pursuit of young Will Spencer. It genuinely frustrates me to see Will so blindly caught up in this messy situation. We all know that Will is completely infatuated with Electra Forrester, but Dillon is proving to be incredibly persistent and dangerously clever. I feel a deep sense of pity for Will because he is young, vulnerable, and clearly confused about his feelings. Dillon is using every single trick to divert his attention, and it breaks my heart to see him giving in to her manipulations. Does anyone else feel like Will is walking straight into a massive emotional trap? The more friction that builds between Will and Electra, the easier it becomes for Will to just throw his hands up and surrender to Dillon's advances. It is a classic rebound situation, and I am sitting here practically screaming at my television screen for Will to wake up. To make matters even more complicated, RJ Forrester is hovering right there on the sidelines, looking absolutely thrilled by the growing distance between Will and Electra. I always find RJ's quiet confidence a bit unsettling, but he knows exactly what he wants. I predict that RJ is going to swoop in and make Electra his official girlfriend before Will even realizes what he has permanently lost. Of course, we cannot discuss Will without talking about his fiercely protective mother, Katie Logan Spencer. Katie is absolutely losing her mind over Dillon's presence, and I completely understand her intense maternal panic. Katie has been through so much trauma, and her primary instinct is always to shield her boy from any potential harm. However, I think Katie might be pushing Will further away by constantly complaining and labeling Dillon as a gold digger obsessed with the Spencer family fortune. While my heart aches for Katie's genuine worry, I firmly believe that her heavy-handed approach is exactly what is driving Will straight into Dillon's waiting arms. This brings me to the inevitable and explosive confrontation that I am eagerly anticipating. The massive showdown between Katie and the newly arrived Darcy. When you have two fiercely protective mothers defending their children, the resulting explosion is bound to be spectacular. Even if Darcy does not entirely agree with her daughter's questionable choices, there is absolutely no way she is going to stand by and let a wealthy Logan woman drag her child's name through the mud. I can already feel the immense tension building as Darcy fiercely claps back, defending her parenting. Do you think Katie is prepared for a woman who will not easily back down? Amidst all this teenage and maternal drama, there is a terrifying spoiler floating around that has completely tied my stomach in knots. The show has been dropping heavy hints about a potential motorcycle accident involving Will, and I am genuinely terrified for the young man. If this crash happens, it is going to completely derail every single storyline currently playing out. I cannot help but wonder how severe his injuries will be and who else might be involved. Will this horrific event be the catalyst that finally forces Will and Electra to admit their true feelings, or will Dillon use his vulnerable state to permanently sink her claws into him? My deepest concern regarding this potential motorcycle crash is the devastating impact it will have on Katie's fragile health. We all know the extensive history of Katie's heart conditions, and the sheer terror of receiving a phone call that her precious son has been in a severe accident could literally put her in the hospital. I am profoundly worried that the writers are setting up a tragic medical crisis for Katie just as she is gearing up for a war against Darcy. It feels incredibly unfair to put Katie through this level of agonizing pain again, and I'm dreading the emotional scenes that are surely coming our way if Will is seriously hurt. Now, I need to take a deep breath and pivot to the storyline that has me feeling the most profound sense of disappointment and anger. I am talking about Steffy Forrester Finnegan and Carter Walton. The news that they shared a drunken, intimate encounter is absolutely infuriating to me. I have watched Steffy grow so much over the years, and she currently has a wonderfully devoted husband in John Finnegan. Why on earth would she self-sabotage her beautiful marriage in such a reckless manner? My heart just sinks knowing that Steffy has once again fallen into her old, destructive patterns of infidelity when things get slightly complicated in her life. And then there is Carter Walton, a man who has historically been so desperate for a stable, loving relationship. He is currently married to Daphne Rose Walton, and he is desperately trying to patch things up with her. I feel a strange mixture of sympathy and intense frustration for Carter. He always preaches about honor and doing the right thing, yet he completely threw his vows away in a moment of drunken weakness. Daphne clearly senses that something is fundamentally broken between them. How long does Carter honestly think he can look his wife in the eyes while carrying the heavy burden of this massive betrayal? Watching Steffy try to cover her tracks is going to be incredibly stressful for all of us viewers. She is undoubtedly going to overcompensate with Finn, trying to act like the perfect wife to mask her overwhelming guilt. But Finn is a smart man, and he is already starting to sense that his wife is hiding a massive secret. I feel so much anxiety watching these scenes unfold, knowing that Finn's entire world is built on a lie right now. I predict that Finn is going to start digging for the truth, and the moment he realizes that his wife slept with one of his colleagues, the emotional fallout is going to be absolutely catastrophic for everyone involved. Thankfully, Taylor Hayes is back in the picture, and a mother's intuition is never wrong. Taylor knows her daughter better than anyone else, and she can clearly see the immense stress and guilt radiating from Steffy. I am so glad that Taylor is going to push Steffy to confess what is really going on behind closed doors. However, I am deeply conflicted about what Taylor will do with this explosive information. Will she force Steffy to be honest with Finn and face the consequences, or will Taylor's protective instincts kick in, causing her to help Steffy bury this dirty secret? I genuinely fear that Taylor might become an accomplice to this terrible lie. Finally, we absolutely must discuss the chaotic aftermath of the Monaco disaster and the ever-present threat of Sheila Carter. I actually felt a rare moment of immense pride and relief when I read that Finn is finally going to stand his ground and completely cut off all contact with his biological mother. It has taken him far too long to realize how toxic and dangerous Sheila truly is to his family's safety. I am so happy that Finn is finally prioritizing his wife and children over his misguided desire to connect with a woman who has caused them nothing but endless pain. It is about time Finn showed some real backbone. However, my relief is heavily overshadowed by a deep, lingering sense of dread. We all know that a rejected, heartbroken Sheila is the most dangerous version of Sheila. She is going to be absolutely devastated and furiously angry that Finn has shut the door on her forever. I strongly predict that Sheila is going to blame Steffy for Finn's decision, completely ignoring her own horrific actions in Monaco. What terrifies me the most is wondering what a desperate Sheila will do to get revenge. Will she discover Steffy's dirty little secret about Carter and use it to completely destroy Steffy's life, or will she resort to physical violence once again? As we brace ourselves for this upcoming week, I find myself completely consumed by these intertwining stories of betrayal, maternal warfare, and impending tragedy. From Darcy's explosive arrival to Steffy's devastating infidelity, the emotional stakes have never been higher for our beloved characters. I am sitting on the edge of my seat, absolutely terrified, yet completely captivated by the drama that is about to unfold. How do you all feel about these shocking developments? Are you as worried for Will and Finn as I am? Let us keep our fingers crossed that our favorite characters can somehow survive the massive emotional storms heading straight for Los Angeles.